I love staying busy, and I think it really helped with the athleticism part of the marching band, because I think with the Best Damn Band in mind, I think we take that to a whole new level than what other bands do.
Friend Max Cogswell is in the studio with us, and Max, part of what I've heard is the best damn band in all the land. So Max, you are also a big part of this as a sousaphone player who's going to be dotting the I a little bit later on. So Max, glad to have you in studio. Let's talk a little bit about this. Getting to dot the I is one of the biggest honors as a musician in the state of Ohio, maybe.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. It's been a lifelong dream of mine. I know only a select few every year get to do it, and it's always a long journey, even from your first year making band to get to dot the I. So yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Absolutely. So senior now at Ohio State. I'm presuming you got to be an upperclassman to get to dot the I.
Yeah, you have to be a fourth year in marching band, and how you select a game is based on how many challenges you won and so forth. And there's like a tiebreaker system that goes many steps. But I had third choice, and I chose the Purdue game to dot this year.
Very nice. And does that game have any specific significance to you as well?
It does. Both my dad and my brother went to Purdue, so I thought it'd be great for them to be at that game and to also watch their team lose to a superior football program.
I listened to the Apex show, Johnny. I thought Benny was a Purdue guy, so that's going to be pretty entertaining. I'm sure that's got to be a special memory for you and your family.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they've been looking forward to this for a long time.
And speaking of a long time, I mean, you've had to have been a part of band, a part of music programs for how much of your life now at this point?
If we want to go all the way back, I mean, my mom took me to piano lessons growing up. Wasn't my cup of tea, but, you know, my brother also did marching band, and so did my mom, and I just kind of also still wanted to follow in their footsteps. And so when I got to the 6th grade, you know, I picked up the tuba and realized that's what I wanted to do. I did a little drumline in high school as well, but I never forgot my roots. And yeah, I stuck with it ever since.
So tuba and sousaphone, for those of us like me who might just play stringed instruments and things like that, what exactly is the major difference other than, I guess, aesthetics?
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't any difference. It's just tuba is just, you can really only sit down and play, and sousaphone, you know, tuba on the go.
It's tuba on the go. I never thought about it like that. That's pretty cool. John Phillip had himself a really good idea there. There's the sandwich, and then there's the tuba, two things you can take on the go with you. We have Max Cogswell in the studio here with us, and Max, that is really incredible that you've got through all of these challenges that you mentioned. What are some of the challenges that qualify you to be able to dot the I?
Yeah, so the Monday before every performance, the alternates of the band will pick who they think they should challenge and basically try to get their spot. And, you know, challenge is like a very mini tryout, while everyone else kind of like sight reads the music for that halftime show for that week in the band center, and then they'll pick who makes it as a regular and who doesn't for that week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sight reading as well.
Yeah.
For those who aren't musically inclined, that to me is just that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Give me the Nashville number system and I'm good to go, but you put those dots and lines like that? No. Scary.
Yeah.
We have Max Cogswell with us. Definitely not scared of a lot of musical notation, as we mentioned, November 9th, dotting the I. And do you get to practice that beforehand?
You do, on your own time. Usually, like, the eye dotter for that week will grab a couple of us buddies and like, hey, could you watch me strut and bow and, like, give feedback? But fun fact, you don't need to be able to strut as part of, like, your marching audition.
Okay.
You just have to, like, we have a hats off, which is the same thing as we do when we dot the I at the end, where we bow. But, you know, you don't have to strut. That's not part of it. Everybody's just unique.
That is wonderful. I guess I never noticed that. I think that we all think of the traditional strut. The guy is just absolutely high-stepping in ways that make my back hurt watching it. And doing that all with, how much do one of those instruments weigh? Sousaphone's got to weigh, what, 25, 30 pounds maybe?
A lot of times it depends on like the manufacturer. I believe the ones we use at Ohio State, they're like around 35 pounds.
Okay. And those are probably, I'm guessing, lightweight ones as you guys are on the go.
Yeah, they certainly get lightweight, but when you have to march the Rose Bowl parade, they get pretty heavy pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. So you got to be a little bit of an athlete as well to be part of a marching band like that. Speaking of, I guess just the band in general, what's the process? You're coming out of high school, looking to further your music career. What's the process of actually getting in, trying out, making the band?
Yeah, so it starts in early June with what we call summer sessions. They're entirely student-led, and it's just a Tuesday and Thursday thing where day by day throughout the summer, the vets of the band will teach newcomers all the different aspects of our marching, the different style, and start to slowly learn the music. And it just slowly builds up to early August, where tryouts is a 2-day process, broken up into 2 blocks. The first day we'll have music and marching, and the second day it's just all marching. It's definitely a marathon. You can be very gassed, and then at the end of the second day, you all show up back at the band center in the stadium all dressed up. Usually it goes very late as the directors are last minute calculating the members who just barely make the cut by like 1/100th of a point. And you walk in there, and when the directors walk in there, it's as silent, you can hear a pin drop, and you hope you hear your name.
That is, it's got to be a little nerve-wracking as you're going through that process. And is that something you have to do every year? Is that, or once you're in, are you kind of there until someone kicks you out?
No, you have to try out every year. Doesn't matter if it's your first year trying out, or like me, it's my 5th year. So sadly, I've seen vets get cut before. After my first year, I had a friend who just didn't make the cut, and then I just never saw him again. So it gets a little bit less nerve-wracking every year, but it's still very nervous.
You heard it here first. Once you fall out of the band, they disappear you. You don't want to do that. You got to practice. Max Cogswell is our guest. I don't think that's true at all. Just for anybody listening who's part of the the band, they don't do that. You'll still be around. Just they won't see as much at practice. Speaking of practice, what's your schedule like as someone who's obviously working toward a degree as well? It can't just be all sousaphone.
Yeah, so it's like practice is like a regular class time. We practice Monday through Friday, 4:10 to 6:15. Every day. Usually we focus on something different, like Monday's challenges and sight reading the music and getting the new people who just want a challenge used to their new spot. Tuesdays usually we have breakdown sectionals, focus a little bit more on music. And then Friday is what we call grade A. We have a dress rehearsal where we just wear hats and Nike gray sweatpants, where we just run the full pregame and halftime show top to bottom and watch some film beforehand so we can see what we need to work on for that day. And also is music checks to make sure we all are up to snuff on how we play our music.
Absolutely. And the choreography of everything is incredible. I mean, you have the whole challenge of actually playing these, pieces of music. Then you got to move around in specific ways at specific times doing it. So how much time goes in to that choreography process?
A lot. It helps with our iPads. All of our drill and music is shared through the iPad, and it can be very easy just in our own time to write in our music the drill to also help us memorize both the drill and the music. And it's even helpful as we're learning, sometimes we have one of our iPads has a bad internet connection, or sometimes iPads just go dead. It'd be like, hey, my iPad's dead, could you tell me where I'm going? And I can just click a few buttons and I can pop up his drill spot. I'm like, okay, you're here, here, and here.
That is pretty high-tech stuff. Max Cogswell with us here on a Saturday morning. And Johnny, you have any musical talent to share?
Well, number one, I have no musical talent, or athletic talent for that matter, but I would mix the two just because I had the opportunity from a broadcasting standpoint to do his games. And Max, you played at a very high level, football in high school on the line. Talk a little bit about loving the game and then doing both, I guess, right, in high school. I don't know how you do that, but then maybe you can touch on that, and then being a fan, being in the best damn band in the land, and all that comes with that, as well as an athlete.
Yeah, looking back, doing so many sports, including marching band and football in high school, was like a blessing in disguise. Because one thing you learn when you get to the marching band, you either learn you're really good at time management or you're really bad at it. Especially when it comes to trying to find time to memorize the music outside of both classes and the actual practice itself. But yeah, my parents always just try to keep me busy. Mostly, I think to try to just keep me out of trouble, but I love staying busy, and I think it really helped with the athleticism part of the marching band, because I think with the best damn band in mind, I think we take that to a whole new level than what other bands do.
You a Buckeye fan through and through all your life, pretty much. And I mean, when I watch the band when they're not performing, they are so into the game. At least that's what it appears like, from a fan standpoint.
Yeah, I would say I don't know very many people in the band who are just there to do band. They follow the football team religiously. Like, hey, did you talk about this transfer in the off season or this 5-star recruit coming in? I mean, we follow it pretty closely, and like we're locked in. When we're not playing, all eyes are on the field.
All right, I'm jacked up for November 9th, man. Look forward to it. I'm sure you are as well.
Thank you.
And Max Cogswell again here, our guest. We won't hold him up a whole lot longer. Hey, you have any favorite memories so far? I mean, I have a feeling November 9th is probably going to come close to the top at the end of the day. But so far, what are some of your favorite trips, memories? I mean, you're traveling with the team to bowl games, so you get to see some pretty awesome places.
Yeah, apart from dotting the I, which will probably soon take the top spot. One of my favorites would just be like my first pregame I ever marched Oregon in 2021. You learn real quick, like, wow, our uniforms are really cool, but man, is it hot. So that was also really fun just to see the stadium and just look all the way up at top of C-Deck, like, wow, there's really 100,000 people standing in front of me for all of us just to see us. But and I would say just the Rose Bowl, just seeing family photos of like my family going to the Rose Bowl in '97 and just seeing all that and the historicness of the Rose Bowl game. It was very awesome to be able to go do that and watch a fantastic game too.
You brought up the uniform, so I guess I'm adding one more question here. So that surprises me that they're not lightweight and like super breathable, maybe, or are they? But you mentioned how hot it was, so I'm guessing they might be kind of a traditional fit and way more cotton than the standard breathable outfit these days.
Yeah, they're styled from like a traditional military uniform because that's where our band roots are with the ROTC at the university. But yeah, no, they're dark navy blue, all wool uniform with a white dress shirt underneath.
Oh man,
yeah,
wow. That are there any cooling methods that you guys use but beforehand or anything like that? Any like cooling packs strategically placed around that thing?
No, usually after we do our morning rehearsal on game day, and we usually have like an hour lunch break before we have to march off to skull session. A lot of times in band center, we'll just take off our jackets and cool off. And if it's really hot during a game, which I think this has only happened since Tulsa in 2021, in the stands they'll let us take off our jackets, and that's usually like thank goodness. And then we're like, oh, halftime's coming out, we got to put it back on.
Oh man, and yeah, that sounds pretty excruciating.
Like Script, Ohio, and you've got the biggest instrument out there, and to me, it's just lockstep how the trumpets or whatever the case might be are going up and down when they're going through this interlocking cursive Ohio on the field. And is that something in these 4 o'clock weekly practices that you guys are always doing the Script, Ohio, or is that just something that comes natural from the beginning?
Usually, like, once tryouts are over, we go to like very similar to football, where it's like 3 days. So like for like Tuesday through Friday of that week after tryouts is like we do nothing but trying to get used to all the halftime and pregame aspects of that. After that, usually it's just for like that Monday, we'll just quickly go to the spots without instruments just so we know where we're going. And then usually by Wednesday is when we're starting to do like full run-throughs of, the Diamond, Ohio, where the team runs out, and Script, Ohio.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing, and again, I grab, let's...
That's okay. We'll just keep going. Right. We won't even...
But, so, obviously, the greatest honor for a band member to be able to dot the I. And again, congratulations on that upcoming. But if we look back, and I probably can't even fill my hand with them, but Woody Hayes, Bob Hope, most recently Archie Griffin, and I saw a photo with you right beside him, so you must have been a part of asking him to do that, maybe Eddie George, but not very many, shall I say, just normal people, pedestrian people that can dot the I.
Yeah, usually how like honorary IDOTers go is with that IDOT class of that year, usually there's not enough actual IDOTers to fill all the home games, and sometimes they'll throw around ideas like, well, why don't we have an honorary IDOTer, and that's usually where like Woody Hayes and Earl Bruce and all of them come in. And this year, athletics came to us, the sousaphones, like, hey, you know, this is the 50th anniversary of Archie's first Heisman Trophy, and they're like, would you be willing to let him be an honorary IDOTer? We all was like, well, yeah, of course. And so we got to present him an invitation at the Woody Hayes Center and got a photo with him, and he's just such a nice, heartwarming gentleman, and it's such an honor to like share this tradition with him.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good stories about Archie being just a kind human, so that's got to be incredible to meet all these legends. And again here, as Max Cogswell gets set November 9th against Purdue, father's alma mater, to dot the I and maybe rub in a conference win as well afterwards. It has been really fun to get to spend some time with you here. What do you have planned for after college?
After college, I plan to come back home, hopefully start getting into the family business, whether that's FL Tanks or Apex. But, you know, I'm just ready to get back to life here in Marietta. I love Columbus, everything about it with Ohio State, but I'm just a small town person, and I miss the Mid-Ohio Valley.
Fantastic.
Sounds like he'll be a future recurring guest on the Feed, Seed, Fertilizer, Nuts, and Bolts show on Saturday morning, coming soon to you. All right. For Johnny Wharf, I'm Sean Jones. It's a big honor to be joined here by our friend Max Cogswell. Thanks for listening to Local Radio.